Revelation 7, verses 9 to 10. After this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude which no man can number, of all nations and kindreds and people and tongues, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands, and cried with a loud voice, saying, Salvation to our God, which sitteth upon the throne, and unto the Lamb. Revelation 7, verses 9 to 10.
And grand rising. Good morning to each and every one of you that have decided to come and share with us on this, the 20th day of May, a rainy day here in our region. We're still dealing with, we're still dealing with, excuse me, we're still dealing with, we're still dealing with rainy weather and some severe storms in our region. I'd like to say good morning and grand rising to everyone at WKRA 92.7 on our FM dial who holds our transmitting license. We're grateful for them. We know that um, the ground is getting soft and these severe storms are coming through. So they do come through around now. You know, Memphis in May, they used to have, I guess they're having a barbecue contest on asphalt this year instead of having it in the mud. It used to be Memphis in mud, mud in May or something. But those festivals and those things are not going to be held in their usual spots. But that's neither here nor there. We're just grateful to be here. Let me call the roll of everybody. Say good morning, grand rising to each and every one of you. To Deacon Alvin Moore, good morning to you, sir. Hope that you're doing well. And to section leader Sharon Reed, to Anthony Reed, our apostle. I'd say good morning to Alice, the blessed child of God. To all of you that are here, that are coming, Brother Lee, our co-host, will be here shortly, and our guest panelist from Foxy Angel Zone, Foxy 2, Roxy 3. She will be here also. Like to say, grand rising, good morning to each and every one of you. Hey, listen, you know, it's amazing how, wait a minute, how people, did I just right now, I don't want that. Let's see if I can do something different. How about this? I guess. All right, that's good. Like I say, Grand Rising, good morning to each and every one. Hey to the bushes and everybody that's here. Yesterday we had a great show yesterday, and we were talking about several things, especially about the migrants and the things that refugees receive. A touchy situation in some instances because we have such confusion on who's a refugee and who isn't, but the benefits that they receive have me shaking my head and wondering, I wonder if we could ever get if would it ever be an equal playing field that people will receive the um, the help that they need. Like I say, Grand Rising, good morning to Diane Black, to all of you all that have joined, to her wonderful father that is joining with us on this morning. If you're there, I know it's raining and it's one of them days we like to say Grand Rising, good morning to each and every one of you that have come. I'm talking and in negotiations. If I could, let me see something right quick. If I can find it. We're I want to say grand rising and good morning to uh, a rather, if I might say, uh, young entrepreneur in the city of Matson, Illinois, on Lincoln Highway in Matson. And I'm working on some things, but I want you all to get ready to. We're working on the details of uh, our future guests coming on to talk about their uh, wonderful business, and we're getting it together. We had some difficulties, not really bad, but smoothie cafe. We're getting ready to talk with them and negotiate with them, and we'd like to say grand rising and good morning to Miss Roberts. We're going to be talking real soon. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that great business today. Today is it's an unusual day today because maybe it's the rain or I don't know what it is, but it's but it's going to be okay. All is well. Like I say, Grand Rising folks ain't got up, I guess, or they're on their way to work. If you were on your way to work, you got to be there at 9 o'clock. You are late. You are late. You're not on time. Uh, you're late. But then, take your time, especially those that are dealing with this weather and driving along and different things. There's a lot of things that are going on. I was trying to find some information. Always trying to find some information. Grand Rising to Foxy's here. She's waiting in the wings. And we like to say good morning to everybody, all of our wonderful sponsor supporters that have supported, those that have stuck with us from day one. Um, Yesterday we were discussing some rather interesting things and some interesting numbers that we had received from Foxy to Roxy 3. And it was really interesting how, with that information, I'm trying to find it right now. Let me see if I can go to our. Okay, I got that. There's something else I need to get from Foxy that I hadn't even been through the second uh, email that had been sent with this information on it, folks. Wait a minute, let me see. Okay, this is why I got too much stuff. Wait a minute, hold on a second. That's Foxy. Wait a minute, hold on 1 second. Okay, here we go. That's that, but I want this. This is the one I want. Okay, here it is again. Let's see if I can pull this up. A lot of you had asked for us to continue. Very few of us. Like I said, Grand Rising to everybody. We're getting it going here. We're here at the Magman Morning Show. We're here each and every weekday morning at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. That's 10 o'clock on the East Coast right here on Mac Media 3, Mac Media 3 Productions, the MacMan Morning Show page here. And like we said, we're carried by WKRA 92.7 on your FM dial. And we're going to discuss some of the things that where we stopped off at. And we're going to talk about the various help and agencies that are helping these people that are right here in our community. It has to be brought out. We're living in a different day and time, folks. We're living in some strange uh, times that I'm sure that most of us have not seen. Now, I said that to say, not to say that my Oh, it did just, yeah, the weather had got your internet too. Yeah, I mean, it's really been, the water has really been pouring out. I like to say to all of you all, please stay safe as best as possible. Uh, Even though the cuts in FEMA to help people in these disasters, people don't understand. Uh, you wake up and you come in a tornado and your house was there last night, but it ain't there this morning. It's in another county because the tornado took it there. You would think in a better sense. We got no compassion. There's no compassion. There's no thinking about the everyday person. And I'm sure that people now realize they should have voted the other way because, listen, let me explain something to you all. Nothing is perfect. I don't depend on any man. But when you're that evil to a point and then you direct your evil ways towards people that done nothing to you just because you think you can dominate over a person, that's some weird kind of stuff and some diabolical things. So see what's going on. Am I fearful? No, I'm not fearful. I'm just wise to the fact of knowing that intimidation and fear is the devil's main tool. hmm If I can get you spooked and scared enough, if I can get fear inside of you, that means I got something that I can hold over your head. If you put a snake in here in this room right now, we're going to have a fit. I'm going to find another way out of here. A bird. I remember Alfred Hitchcock, as if I'm saying the man Hitchcock, if that's his name. Alfred. Y'all know the man that created the birds. Ever since that, uh, ever since that movie, I hated birds of all kinds. Seagulls, parakeet. My sister's son had a parakeet used to fly all over, and I said, "Y'all put that bird away." She said, "That bird live here." I had a problem. I stayed in one room and had the broom in my hand, and if that thing started flying, I started ducking and dodging and running and everything because I just had that phobia. But then fear of itself. What's going to happen? Are these people going to send us and make us slaves again and all that other stuff? No, that ain't going to happen. But we are living in some times that I have not seen. And even though we can look into government, we can look and see what they're doing and what so forth, they're fighting for themselves. They're fighting against themselves. There are more white people that are so stirred up now than anything else, and they're trying to persuade us, and they're bolder now in their ways of approaching. I went to a store, and I was saying something to a lady. I'm nothing disrespectful. I said, "Ma'am, can I exchange this for that?" And I said, "It's the same price. All you're doing is just swapping it in. It's the same price almost. I can if I want to." That's a whole up to say, and you get the little twang in your voice and you try, you know what I'm saying? I know when you're trying to say something. Hey, Alice, the blessed child of God is here. Hey, it's our chief usher, and she keeping things together. Grand rising to all of you all. So, all in all, folks, we have some things that we have to get in order. I'm not saying that it's perfect, but you got to be aware of what's going on. We will not listen. And the distractions are, you looking at the distractions. I do not condone anybody that does any of those things that the Pete Diddley man did. He's a monster. But somebody created that monster. Somebody did something to him that he's starting to do with him. He's the modern day, what they start calling him the modern day Ike Turner and all these other things. I mean, there's some things out there that people think that success is. It's not success. You got to, as the actor has said, you give up your man card. You didn't gave up every your virgin hole, as Cat Williams would say. You didn't gave it up. I'm just telling the truth. They making people look like some. I mean, I've never seen things that I actually have seen. But they said that these things were going to come, so I'm not shocked. Yeah, and a little yeah, because of the way that things are happening. Okay, we need to do something about the perception that people have of us. That we some kind. I mean, we've always been humiliated by the white race, white people and Caucasians. They've been trying to humiliate us forever, but then you turn right around. The same thing. Diddy ain't did nothing that Epstein ain't did. Epstein needed to go to prison. He knew he was through. He said, "Well, before I go to prison or them somebody throw me somewhere, where to throw me to the hounds, I get whooped and I'm somebody's girlfriend and doing somebody's ironing somebody's drawers in the if they weren't gonna put him there, he got money, but still, just that stigma, and he took himself out of there. You can't dance with the devil and think he ain't gonna come and get his pay and ask you to pay your rent. Don't think you're getting all them glamorous things that you're getting and all of the trappings of life to a point you thinking you're getting something for free. No, you're going to pay the piper eventually. You're going to pay and put all this money on you. You're going to dance like they say. And rising to all of you all that are here. I want to say to our dear friends in the city of Harvey, we're getting our new programming together, and there will be a feature each week on the coming together with their organization and organizing their residents. And we're reaching out to them because they reached out to us and we're reaching back. The elections here in the South, in our region that we live in, the municipal elections are going on. And in the city of Horn Lake, there's an interesting gentleman that I know and that I'm real proud of. Brother Stokes, I'm real proud of you and and the job that you're doing. You're running for mayor of the city of Horn Lake, and along with others. And we're trying to see if we can get the graphics in so that we can get you probably to get you on or something like that. Good morning to Diane Black, our wonderful Congresswoman of the first congressional district to be. We're grateful to them. Somebody send a please. Wait a minute. Hold on. Okay, I'm sorry. Forgive me. I have a technical difficulty here. Not really. It'll be okay. I'm sorry, folks. Forgive me. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to do some things here at the MacMan Morning Show to bring a better awareness. How are we going to make it through? It's not doom and gloom, folks. It's not. There's a way. I mean, we're living in some perilous times, but we just need to be prepared and stay on our P's and Q's on things. We need to be wise enough to deal with each other, and not saying that we're trying to separate ourselves. I'm just really trying to say that what we need to do is we need to make sure, because there's an all-out attack on black people. There is, and not in the sense of they coming in the streets and lynching us or unaliving us or whatever the case may be. It ain't got to that point. I don't think it will be. But there's a subtle things that are being done to the black community. There's some young people that were on prom the other night, And like I tried to tell everybody, please, if you're sending your kid out in a Mercedes Benz and they're 16, 17, 18 years old, never had that responsibility. I know you want them to look as fabulous as they want to be. I understand that. You can spend your money on whatever you want to. That's not what I'm talking about. Had you had that talk with your young person before you let them out of your sight? hmm Did you take time? Did you take out time to say, hey, listen, boy, don't go here. Drive like you got some sense. Okay, better not be any alcohol, better not be any, Brother Lee has come, our co-host of the McMahon Morning Show, Grand Rising too. We're going to let them say hello in a couple of seconds. Give me a second as I lead this up. And we're going to shuffle here just a little bit. And did you have that conversation with them? Did you have that conversation and let them know, be careful if anything happen, call us. Let us know what's going on and what's happening. These young people are riding around in these cars and they're on prom and they're racing each other according to the events of the reports that were handed down to me, the preliminary unofficial reports. So this is alleged as I'm speaking. I'm not even going to reveal names or locations of this incident. But to make a long story short, they're going to race each other, who's the coolest and everything. Young lady loses her life riding in the passenger seat and the car flips over and unalives that person. That's a heck of a scene to drive up on as a first responder. You see a whole lot of things. And when you see somebody that if you drive up and see somebody that that's even harder to do, but you got a duty that you have to do. So my shout out to all first responders and all of those that are watching over these children. Have you had that talk with your young person? I got the title today is Crying with a Loaf of Bread Under Your Arms. Have you ever heard of that saying? Y'all in the bushes, crying with a loaf of bread under your arms. We got everything that we need. We got the support. You ain't never heard of it? No what? You ain't never get out of here. That's Foxy saying no, she ain't never heard of crying with a loaf of bread under your arms. I don't know what. No, you never heard of it either, Alice? No. You never heard of crying with a loaf of bread? I'm hungry. I'm so hungry. I got a loaf of bread. You never heard it? I got it. You hungry, right? I'm hungry. I'm starving. Oh, my belly is back to my spine. And you got a loaf of bread under your arm, but you crying that you hungry. That's what I mean. That's what I mean. Lord, y'all ain't heard that? What? Oh man, that's deep. You never, wow, that's deep. See, that's something new. Crying with a loaf of bread under your arm. You got everything you need. We still asking for folks to save us. We're still asking. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Never heard of it. That's not a saying on the. Oh, it ain't a saying. Oh, it's a Chicago thing. Okay, I feel good about it. Yeah, but it's country though. It was. That's what my mom used to say. She said, "You crying with a loaf of bread under your arm. You got everything that you need, and you hollering about it. You shouting and your blood pressure up and everything. I know we get a little anxious, and I do too. I get nervous and things like that. But sometimes we gotta control ourselves and understand that things are gonna be all right. We made it through. Don't you know we have as a people, even though good, bad, and indifferent, as wicked and as upside down as some of us are. Like I was saying, B. Diddy didn't do nothing that Epstein ain't do to the fifth power. Epstein had an island. His planes and them private planes had a landing strip. Go there to the island, and he controlled the island. It's his island. Could you imagine? And they were saying Bill Clinton and all kind of folks was up, Democrats, Republicans, independents, all kinds of folks was up in there, superstars, wannabes, rich people, I don't know how the poor folks come in there, but they flying them in there. We don't know what's going on these private places. Not that I want to know, but there's evil and wickedness in high places, folks. There's some things going on behind the scene in the entertainment industry that people that know. I don't know now. I'm not into that. That's not my realm. So they ain't. Don't y'all come after me about nothing. But I don't know nothing about what you're doing, and I don't care. But what's out in the public, they saying these things are happening. And I believe it. There's some things that are happening. There's some people. Mama always said. She said, you don't have to go everywhere. There's some places we ain't got no business being. None. All of us have been in that situation. You know you ain't supposed to be doing this or being here or wherever the case may be, but you found yourself being there. But you got to be wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove, and be careful in these days and times that we're living in right now. There's an all-out assault. I'm telling you what God loves. That's my commentary on that. As we lead into our morning and everything. Grand rising and to everybody, and good day. I'm going to go to break real quick, and we're going to bring our panel up and everything. This is the MacMan Morning Show. We are here on Mac Media 3, Mac Media 3 LLC. We're here. We're going to be right back in a little bit. I'm still a little limited. I can't play. I can't get my pictures right now, but that's going to be okay. It'll be all right. Things will be fine, but I can still play certain things. Y'all just stand by. We'll be back right after these messages.
Tune in to the MacMan Morning Show. Hold up. Man, this is one of the hottest talk radio shows this side of the Mississippi. We're talking about the MacMan Morning Show, Mondays through Friday from 9 a.m. to 10:20 a.m. Man, get you some on WKRA 92.7 FM. Man, beat me there. Don't meet me there. If your locks ain't right and your twist is on limp, get over to Keisha Studio. Specialized in locks, natural hair, and extensions. When your hair needs that special attention, make Keisha Studios your next decision. Located 3964 Goodman Road E, Suite 122 in South Haven, Mississippi. Call 901-650-9487 for your appointment at Keisha Studios.
Your home should tell your story. It should be stylish, comfortable, and uniquely you. Here at D. Harris Interiors, we don't just decorate. We design spaces that reflect your personality, your lifestyle, as well as your dreams. Whether you're revamping one room or you're transforming an entire space, here at D. Harris Interiors, we bring creativity, expertise, and heart to every project. Great design starts with connection. And I do take the time to understand your vision and to bring it to life with beauty and intention. So, are you ready to fall in love with your space all over again? Well, just give D. Harris a call at 901-303-8099 to schedule your personalized consultation today.
We're back on the MacMan Morning Show. Grand Rising. Good day to all of you and to everybody that has joined us on this wonderful day. It's raining, of course, in some parts, especially around here, but that's all right. The grass is going to grow. You still got to cut it and do the things that you need to do. And preparing for the summer days and the festivals. Some communities have some work to do before the festivities. That means you got to vote. If you have an election, folks, in your community, please, and I'm stressing this in Mississippi, the state of Mississippi, please, please exercise that right that you have so far to vote, please. It is imperative that you do, whether you're north, south, east, or west, on the coast, or up on the north end, on the south, or in the delta, wherever you are. Please, folks, get out and vote if they can. And if the powers that be would want to, they would try their very best to eliminate our right and that privilege that we have to vote as citizens. They're already trying to eliminate a lot of us. They're trying to eliminate a whole lot of things that are going on that are in benefit that we need to be operate as citizens here. And I'm not afraid. I'm not going to be running around or running away from them. They got a fight on their hands. People just don't understand. People are, we ain't going for it. And I'm not saying I'm for violent activities. I'm for this. I'm for that. But you're not gonna push me around. You're not. If you do, we're just gonna have to go ahead and have it out. Okay. Yeah, if I'm in the store and you start talking all of that foolishness and all these things to me and trying to insult me, I'm not going for it. Never. No, I'm not doing it. I don't care what nobody says. You're not going to humiliate me and discredit my family, hurt my home, or whatever the case may be. You're not going to do it. I'm not going to have it. As a personal privilege, I can say that. I'm not. I mean, we come too far to be ducking and hiding and yes, a bossing and kissing tail. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing it. I'm sorry, I'm not doing it. If I gotta raise chickens and pick sweet potatoes or whatever the case may be, God gonna provide. He's gonna provide. Somehow, some way he's gonna provide. So I'm not afraid, and you shouldn't be afraid. Now what we need to be doing is getting our business to a point and understanding, one, what do we need and how do we need to get it? Two, understand and see around about you, learning from past and the history of the wrongdoings that's going on now. Some of us need a refresher course. That's what the MacMan Morning Show is going to do this morning with the topics that we're going to be talking about. Yeah, we're going to talk about crying with a loaf of bread under your arm. See, you folks from the East Coast, y'all learned something. So you can say that and they be looking at you strange like, hey, where you get that from? Yeah, y'all so you're hollering, you're hungry, but you got a loaf of bread under your arm. You won't eat the bread that's under your arm. That's what that means. So we got, as a people, we got so much. We got a loaf of bread and we got a whole bag of groceries, about 2-3 bags of groceries in our hand when they used to have groceries in our hand. God and gave us everything that we need, and we sit around here looking, but we got to know what's up first. So I can't blame you if you don't know what's going on in the world and you don't know what's happening. Our panelists here, I'd like to welcome them here, our co-hosts. Brother Lee Mack, he's here, the co-host of the MacMan Morning Show, chief contributor and commentator here. And we have Foxy 2 Roxy 3, host of the Foxy Angel Zone right here on YouTube, our sister broadcaster, and she's here on the panel with us today. I got some information, Brother Lee. Y'all say good morning and howdy do to the people. Forgive me.
Good morning, kings on the panel, and also to our audience. Good morning, kings and queens. It's a great day to
All
be
right.
alive.
What'd you say?
Great day.
Great day, new beginnings.
All right, all right. Now I'm gonna get right to slice the onion, and let's see what's gonna come out of it. I know that we might have a few tears or something, but I ain't gonna worry about all that. Wait a minute, let me put this up that I had. Give me a second, folks. We were talking yesterday about the South Africans that have come over to the rich South Africans that have come over as refugees. And we talked about something called apartheid. And I wanted Brother Lee to expound upon, I'm going to put it up here. Here, forgive me, y'all. I ain't mean to go on the campaign trail. But Grand Rising to Diane Black, you see me. What she say? What about people who don't eat bread? Well, you got groceries under your arm, crying with groceries under your arm. Put it that way, so that'll solve all that. Whether you eat ham, hocks, onion, bacon, fruits, or nothing else, you eat some grass, wheat germ oil, tofu, whatever you got all that groceries. Your groceries that you get, you got groceries under your arm, crying with groceries under your arm. But then the original phrase came. You crying with a loaf of bread under your arm. Now we're going to talk about, and I'm going to bring this up. Hey, Sharon Reed, how are you? Okay, I want to bring up this apartheid thing now. Brother Lee, not just as I wouldn't just say he's our historian, but I think he can bring the awareness of what I'm trying to say and what people were suffering back in the day in South Africa and why it's so significant. And I get disturbed by these people coming over here talking about their racially discriminated against when they were the Afrikaners. These people, I think if I'm going to the right, apartheid leaders, them white folks over there did to the black people over there, really just treated them like they were nothing. Now I'm going to read just a portion of this, and then I'm going to bring Brother Lee and Sis Fox are going to come on and do their commentary on this because Brother Lee has that awareness about this. It was a little bit more history of it than I do, but I'm going to just read just a part of this that's on the screen right now. The history of apartheid in South Africa. I am not going to read all of this. I'm just going to read this cliff note here. It says, "What is apartheid?" Translated from from the Afrikaners, meaning apartness, meaning separated. It's apartness. Apartheid. It's partness, meaning one. Okay, okay. Supported by the National Party. That's the NP, the National Party, and was introduced in South Africa in 1948. Apartheid called for the separate development of different racial groups in South Africa. On paper, it appeared to call for equal development and freedom of cultural expression, but the way it was implemented made this impossible. And apartheid made laws forcing different racial groups to live separately and develop separately and grossly unequal equality and unequal. They were just, the same. It was worse. It was tied to stop all interracial marriages. Ooh. It was against the law back then before Nelson Mandela was released. It was illegal to have a mixed marriage in South Africa. They could do something to you. So from, it was separation, keeping people away. The people that came over on the plane, those rich South Afrikaners, the separatists, the ones that said apartness, they were the rich ones. Elon Musk's buddies, his partners, y'all. I'm gonna say it again. His partners. I did something wrong right here. His partners. Wait a minute. Let me get this here. Brother Lee, I want you to come in, and then Miss Foxy, I want you all to start the discussion, and please give us a refresher on apartheid and how it's happening and along the lines of what we were talking about yesterday with them folks flying over here and everything. Give us a little bit of it if you can, Brother Lee.
Well, okay. Apartheid means set apart. Uh, it was a deceptive in the languaging that it was that you read. It was very deceptive because it wasn't separate but equal. It was definitely separate, but it was not equal. It was a form of martial law against the black folks who lived in South Africa, not just the blacks and the browns. We had browns that lived in Africa to South Africa. They came from other countries and settled there. But you know the apartheid whole situation in South Africa was set aside in this way. They weren't allowed to vote, so they didn't take part in that decision and that law that they created, that the Caucasians created in South Africa. They didn't allow the black folks to vote. I mean, it was maybe 2 million Caucasians and 25 million, over 25 million black folks that resided, that lived in South Africa. And so that's the thing. They had the numbers if they were allowed to vote, but they weren't allowed to vote. They weren't allowed to have the same education. See, their education was entirely different from the education of the Caucasians. They had to speak a certain. The blacks had to learn a certain language, and learn only that language in South Africa, and the Caucasians could learn whatever language they wanted to. And as far as that, the education was inadequate. The housing was inadequate. They couldn't travel freely without a pass, and they couldn't travel freely even with that pass unless they had a certain like maids or service workers could travel only at certain times, and they have to have, it's like papers. They had to have papers in their own country to travel. Caucasians that didn't have to do that. So that's how Caucasians accumulated all of this wealth and sat on top of it and put black folks in shanties. That's a slum. That's a slum. They put them in a slum community where they didn't have running water. They didn't have the things that they needed to even have a decent living. So, and they were beaten, and if you protested, if you spoke out, if you did anything, and they would snatch you out of your homes. They would snatch you out of homes just for no reason. So they didn't need a reason to stop you. They didn't need a cause to stop you for anything or take you out of your home in the middle of the night and you not return. They were unaliving us. Someone would disappear and never be heard again. So that oppression was so severe. And you see that Caucasians now, yeah, they're traveling away from South Africa because they don't have that property. Some of them are still allowed to keep the property that they stole. That's something Nelson Mandela, he allowed them to keep some of their property, some of the businesses, some of the things. I mean, he didn't want a complete turnover, which I disagree with, but who am I? I disagree with it. I would have, think that I would have loaded them all up and moved them to a boat and let them go back to their country because they benefited. They raped that country. It's time for them to go. And they had us working in the mines, the gold mines, the diamond mines, all of those precious metals. And not just that, that country is wealthy with resources. And they took advantage of it.
But the people ain't getting anything out of it. I mean, like you were saying.
That's what I'm saying. None of the black folks was allowed to benefit from any of that. That wealthy country See, and I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna explain something to black folks
Come on with it.
and
Come on. Come
all
on.
folks. Most of these countries we say is third world are wealthy countries, but they have been manipulated by outside governments. They have been manipulated.
Y'all continue.
They
I was getting the email, but y'all continue. You and Foxy. Go ahead, Lee. Go ahead. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
they've been manipulated. We call these the third world countries, but listen, their natural resources, the natural resources in Africa is 1,000 times more resources than any country in this world. They
Exactly.
have they have that is a tremendously wealthy country in resources, and that is why you see white corporations and the Asian corporations and the Asian countries are trying to take over. Not trying to. They've got a scheme going. It's a scam. You got China. They loan money at high interest rates where those some of those countries can't pay it back, and therefore they never seem to get ahead. That's why you see the countries, these African countries, are not able to get control and be able to uplift their country because they've gotten these loans from countries like Asia, these corporations in Europe and all of these countries, and rather than and they've been manipulated. These leaders in these African countries are being manipulated and paid off and corrupted. See, they corrupt the leaders. Here's the thing, and I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna turn it over to you, my sister. Reparations, and I'm gonna explain this to you. How this reparations work. That's why I'm gonna tell you why we will never get reparations and how other countries don't get it. Other African countries in Africa don't get it. It's because they found out, the Caucasians found out how to manipulate you. They give reparations. Like, let's give this country for example, the U.S. They give reparations to your politicians, your political leaders, your pastors, your what you call your black leaders. They get reparations. What I mean by that is the government gives the money to the people, the leaders, and they get the leaders to make you go to sleep. That's how they control it. They give money to the few to control the many. And that's why you wonder why your politicians don't do anything, why your pastor don't do anything, is because he's getting his reparations, he's getting his allowances from the government. And that's why you see these leaders never speak totally against the oppression, never speak for us as a people, because they get their reparations. And if they don't take these reparations, let's say your politicians and your political leaders and your pastors and these people in your neighborhoods don't take these what they call reparations, these payoffs, they disappear. They make them, they either unalive them or they discredit them. See, that's the thing we don't understand. Well, why come it's taking us 400 years to get to where we are? It's because our political leaders, our social leaders, our religious leaders are taking reparations. How can your pastor dress better than anybody in the church? And he's talking about he's for the people. He's driving the nicest car, but he says he's for the people. He says he's trying to get you some help, but he's living the best life. He's living his best life. And that's the thing. We gotta see with our eyes. What your eyes see is what you see in front of you is what's happening here. See, he'll tell you it's not raining, but it's raining. He's peeing on you, And the thing is we gotta wake up, because that's what they're doing to us. Yeah, you see, nothing takes 400 years. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Nothing takes 400 years. But it's taking 400 years for somebody to get a grocery store. It's taking 400 years for you to get maybe a good hospital in your neighborhood. It's taking 400 years for your school system to be fixed. Nothing takes 400 years. It's by design that we live the way we live. The government is doing it by design. I'm going to give you one example. I'm going to turn this over to you, sister. You can take Germany. Take Germany, for instance. Now, when Germany, after World War I, okay, Germany was not allowed to have an army, they armed forces or anything. They brought that country down to its knees. Okay, it kind of rised up, and then it got resources from other places. And then you see Germany and World War II happened. They kicked it off again. Germany kicked that war off. And they had the armament, they had the resources, they had all of that to start this war and keep it going. And then when that war, then when Germany was lost that war, and that country was annihilated. They bombed just about everywhere in that country. They didn't have two nickels to rub together. People was begging on the streets. And look at Germany now. They're a superpower, and that country is no bigger than Texas. See, and didn't take 400 years for Germany to turn their system around, did it? See, and that's the thing. They tell us it takes hundreds of years. Germany is a superpower. Well, I turn it over to you, my sister.
Grand Rising, my brother. You are absolutely right. It's not much I can dispute with you. All I can do is agree with you because you are absolutely right. This is what they want us to. They don't. That's why they're trying to erase our history because they don't want us to be knowledgeable of what is going on and what has happened in our past, and they want to keep us. That's why they keep hollering that woke stuff because we are finally waking up and seeing what is done to us, and we're starting to stand up for our rights. And that's why they want to get rid of everything that they can in regards to our black history, everything that they can to make sure the blacks do not rise up after, like I said before, when George Floyd was unalive and they saw how powerful we were to a point that it even affect overseas, they knew then they had to do something to bring us back down because we were starting to rise like Germany. We were starting to rise like Africa. We are starting to rise and they didn't want that. So now they're coming in to try to suppress that again, to make us feel like, okay, it's nothing we can do now. We under their control. Oh, it's nothing no, we can. We can stand up for ourselves. Stop sitting around acting like, oh, whoa, me. Start using that lazy brain of yours and start thinking and reading and researching and sitting back thinking about how you could overcome what they're trying to suppress you from. Overcome what you are suppressed from. I refuse to be suppressed. I'm going to speak my mind. I'm going to read. I'm going to research. I'm going to find out what we can do to try to, uh, especially for myself, to rise above it. I'm not going to let anything suppress me. I'm not going to let anything hold me down. And that's the problem. We are so busy going, oh, whoa, me, and blaming everybody but ourselves. Part of this is us. We're taking 400 years because we're not doing what we need to do. Read, research, stand up for yourself. Learn what you can do to to rise above what they're trying to suppress you with. And stop waiting for the other people to do it for you. Do it for yourself. This is how I feel about it, passionate about it. I want us to start thinking for ourselves, start rising above the suppression that you seeing before you. It's called fear monger. They trying to fear monger our own race to get us afraid of our own people, of what's going on in the world. It's a counteract. They're trying to keep you blind to what's really happening around you. We are so busy going what Orange Man is doing. What are we doing in our own community? Stop worrying about what
And
the Orange Man is doing.
I agree with you 100%. And what I'm saying, what I like to bring out is this: it's not so much as what the Orange Man is doing, as much as what's being implemented now. When things go down, what are we gonna do? Okay,
Exactly.
are we prepared as far? I'm not saying you got to stockpile this, you got to do this. Got to be a way because what's coming out of the government affects us all. Whatever the case may be, you can say what you want, and whoever is there. It affects us. And from what I see is this, even though we're citizens, even though that we're born here and everything, ain't nobody bothering us right now or whatever the case may be, there's a calculated effort for people to actually subvert or just do away with the Constitution of the United States of America. I asked this question: how can they do it? And I came up with me myself. I'm not much of a, I ain't nobody's philosopher or nothing like this. But if he implements martial law, that eliminates the Constitution, doesn't it? Can I get some help from one of y'all? Am I right? If he declares martial law, implements it, it it temporarily or somehow the Constitution is null and void, and we're under emergency, or we under the emergency of that. Can y'all help me out with that? Am I wrong
Oh,
or am I
okay.
speculating? Help me out.
Okay, I would say this, and this is something we may not be aware of. Uh, we've been in a form of martial law since they had the Emancipation Proclamation when we were so called set free. We've been under martial law. It might not be to the letter of that law, but we have been under martial law. Listen, if I came from another country and I never knew nothing about the U.S. and I came here and I saw black folks, I'd swear they under martial law. I would swear that they are. I'd go to their schools. I would travel to the black folks' schools
So
and I'd
you
say,
mean that if you came from Africa, wait a minute, you mean said that just for conversation's sake, you mean if you came from Africa and didn't know nothing about the United States, what you know right now, you would assume that we were living better than what y'all living in
well,
over there?
no, I would, no, here's the thing. What their constitution says and how the black folks live is not the same thing. So I would say it's under some form of martial law because if I go to the black neighborhoods and where black folks live, and I see how their schools are, and I go to the white folks and I see how their schools are, I say it's apartheid over here. And if I go and I'm stopped, I'm driving my car in the US and I get stopped and they treat me differently. They throw me out the car and they throw me on the ground. I say it's apartheid over here. And if I go and I can't get medical help, and because everybody black is sitting in the emergency room because that's the only way we can get good. That's the way we can get medical care. And the white folks can go to any hospital they want, and they got their insurance and everything is working good for them. And I would say, dang, this is apartheid over here. If I go to the grocery store in the black neighborhood and I can't get no vegetables, I can't get no decent food, and I go to the white neighborhood and they get all the good food and all the decent food and healthy food to eat, I would say this is apartheid over here. You know, that's the thing. If I'm going downtown Chicago and I'm down there at nighttime and the police ask me why am I there, and I would say, and the white folks are walking freely, I would say this is apartheid over here. So don't go by their letter of the law. Go by what you see. Because listen, don't mistake what they're giving you. You getting some rights and thinking that you getting all your rights because you don't.
Mm.
That Constitution don't. It's not for you. See, you saying that they get rid of the Constitution. That Constitution wasn't meant for you in the first place. So you
Well, I
talking
was
about
saying the
they
14th
oh,
Amendment, that fourth, oh, but they could get rid of everything, but when they get
well,
rid of the
listen,
14th Amendment, go
listen.
ahead,
I'm
Lee,
gonna
go
tell
ahead,
you
come on.
something. You are in prison and don't even know it. See, and
Mm.
that's the
Oh
crazy part
my.
about it. You in prison and don't know it. And that's how they got us so brainwashed that we feel we got the freedom to walk around. We walking around inside a jail. You know, that's the
Mm.
thing. So we gotta understand what's going on. We gotta wake up. That's what I have to say.
I got. All right, Fox, come on now before I go to break. I go to break
Well,
in a little. Or would you like for me to go to break first?
no,
Don't
we're
break
just
it.
no. Part of it, he's right. We are under martial law to a certain degree, but if we go to full martial law, then he controls the country because he's over the military. He's the commander in chief, so he's over the military. So nobody will have any rights, and we'll be worse
That's what I
than
was
we
saying.
are.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are under martial law to a certain degree because we do not still have the freedom we deserve, but we'll be under worse. We'll be almost like El Salvador, where those guys are in no prison. We have to come out at a certain time. We have to be in the house at a certain time. We have to be able to do certain things at a certain time. We got to have paperwork on us at a certain time. The
We
military
got
will
you.
walk the streets day and night, and that's their job. And they will have to do what he tells them to do because he's a commander in chief.
Oh yeah, my sister, I understand.
And
I,
so
I do understand.
you know,
Go ahead.
a full martial law will affect everyone, not only us. It'll affect us worse. It will affect us worse because we're black, and we already under partial martial law, but we'll be under full martial law, where we would get it worse, even though they would, because you got a lot of them that say, "Oh, I'm abide by the law. I'm not gonna do anything." But we are gonna fight back because we're being suppressed worse than they are. They're not gonna see the martial law the way we see it. We see martial
Okay.
law as real prison. To them, and martial law means they just have a little freedom they can't do anymore. To us, it's real
Okay.
prison. We
I
must
want
be
to
afraid
ask
to
this.
go outside and walk around and say, "Hey,
Yeah. Well, I want to say this. I mean, if we as people see what I mean, I feel like this. It's all and I never really looked at it quite like what you said, Brother Lee, but then and Foxy, both of you all. But we're looking at it from this standpoint. You mean to tell me we went to free people? We the slaves and we went over there to help Mandela and them, but we know better than in a better shape than Mandela and them are right now. Is that what they're saying? Is that what you're saying? I want to know. Either one of you all. Anybody?
well, right now, we're really not. We're no better than them. At least they
Mm-hmm.
rose up against their apartheid. We still
Mm-hmm.
under our apartheid. We're not above. No, we're not taking back what belonged to us.
Okay.
They took back what belonged to them and holding on to it
Right.
strongly.
Well,
Right.
I would say this. Listen, I know the difference between what they say in martial law is. I understand exactly what martial law is. And actually, there was a form of martial law in a movie that I saw that had Denzel in it. He was an FBI director. Uh, yeah, he was an FBI director, and they had this terrorist going around bombing places, and he and the general came through there. They wanted him to kind of stop this from happening, so he got an executive order from the president to call martial law in New York City, and he can had the right to come to people's houses and snatch black folks, put them in a stadium. I think it was the Yankee Stadium. He put them in Yankee Stadium and, behind a fence with lights on, not under no tent. Just put them in there. Put all the men at a certain age, all of them in there.
Mm.
You know, so I understand what martial law is. And I'm just
Wow.
trying to get us what we call woke folks awake. Because
Well, that's
if you don't
what I'm saying is I'm following where you're going with this. Well, what I'm saying is also is this okay? And I believe that the shaking is there when there is if my understanding is right. When martial law is implemented, the Constitution of the United States is either it's suspended or whatever until I don't
set
know if it's
aside, they
it's
set
set
it aside.
aside
It's
and
set
the
aside.
implementation because the president is the head of the military. He's the chief. He's the commander in chief. That means that under that he's responsible for the safety of the country and to implement its safety by any means. That I mean, he got a carte blanche to do what he wants to do. That means no elections. That means nothing. Nothing
He
goes on
suspends
unless that
everything. He
everything
suspends
is
everything.
suspended. Rights, all of
And
our rights. Go ahead.
well, I'm gonna tell you this. Martial law is designed to protect property. not the rights of people. It has nothing to do with your rights.
You're saying it's
It
the
has
right
nothing to do with the
of
people.
property? You're saying property.
They protect property. That's
Mm.
all that martial law does. It does not keep people safe. If you come
Yeah, we know
outside
that.
and you
Yeah, I
get
know
crime,
that. I know that.
so you got to look at it like this. What is martial law benefiting? Who does martial law benefit?
The
Who is
one that
martial law
implemented
help?
it, the president, the one that got the power.
What I'm saying is, why is there martial law? To restore order, right?
That's what they
That's what
say.
they.
I
That's
don't
what they.
know.
And when you restore order, you're there to protect property. Now, this country, so-called, was built on protest. So they're saying that you can't do what this country was built on. You can't protest against what's wrong, what you don't like. You have the right to freedom of speech and the pursuit of happiness. It's in a direct Declaration of Independence.
Right.
So we're talking about the Constitution and how one person can find a reason to put out martial law because he deems it necessary, and it's crazy. And the thing is that and you gotta ask this question. See, people ask the front end. You gotta ask the back end. Here's the back end on this martial law. When do you lift it? Once they put it down, it's gonna stay. See, you gotta understand. Once they get this martial law, they will never lift it again. They will never lift it again. Once they take your rights, you'll never get them back. See, people are looking at, we got to restore order. We got, Caucasians going to say, I got to be able to walk the street. So let's put them under restriction. You know what martial law does? And I'm going to tell you this, and I'm going to let you go to commercial. Martial law will restore apartheid in America, because they will lift the restrictions on white folks and clamp them down even tighter on us. See, that's what's going to happen. See, martial law will evolve into apartheid. See, if you don't see this coming, I can't help it.
And we're getting ready to go to break right quick, but you're saying, I'm going to throw this out here. So we the problem for the economy. We the problem for the country going down. We, asshole countries, as they call it. Yeah, I said it. And we're the problem. We're always the problem. We're the problem with the country going down. We're the problem over here. We're the problem. You stick us in the projects. Okay, over here, half dead, trying to survive, trying to make it, but yet and still in all proof. We ain't even got boots to put on to talk about bootstraps. Well, I was going there. I'll be right back, leave y'all in a couple of seconds. This is the MacMan Morning Show, Grand Rising. To all of y'all, it's 7 minutes after the hour of 10 o'clock. We coming right back. We're not going anywhere. We got a little bit more to talk about. I ain't even brought my list up, but we got to keep this going. We'll be right back, y'all. Right back.
Tune in to the MacMan Morning Show. Hold up. Man, this is one of the hottest talk radio shows this side of the Mississippi. We're talking about the MacMan Morning Show, Mondays through Friday from 9 a.m. to 10:20 a.m. Man, get you some on WKRA 92.7 FM. Man, beat me there. Don't meet me there.
Your home should tell your story. It should be stylish, comfortable, and uniquely you. Here at D. Harris Interiors, we don't just decorate. We design spaces that reflect your personality, your lifestyle, as well as your dreams. Whether you're revamping one room or you're transforming an entire space, here at D. Harris Interiors, we bring creativity, expertise, and heart to every project. Great design starts with connection, and I do take the time to understand your vision and to bring it to life with beauty and intention. So, are you ready to fall in love with your space all over again? Well, just give D. Harris a call at 901-303-8099 to schedule your personalized consultation today.
ain't right and your twist is on limp, you know, get over to Keisha Studio. Specialized in locks, natural hair, and extensions. When your hair needs that special attention, make Keisha Studios your next decision. Located 3964 Goodman Road E, Suite 122 in South Haven, Mississippi. Call 901-650-9487 for your appointment at Keisha Studios. You know.
And we're back on the Magman Morning Show. Grand Rising to all of you all that are here. Once again, um, it's an interesting day. It's an interesting subject that we're talking about today. And I'd like to continue the discussion before we got about 10 more minutes to go on this leg of our trip. We can't really determine. But then I wanted to continue with this, Foxy, what Lee was saying and what you all were saying, in essence, that this martial law thing is a real serious thing because you think about it. How else would he even extend himself being in power? He knows that the term is going to be up soon. The jig up, he can't run another time because of term limits. Do you think that he will pull this thing? Do you think, one, I want to ask the panel, one, do you think he's going to use martial law eventually upon us as on this nation? And two, that's the first question. Do you think it's going to happen? And two, what do we need to do in the event that it does happen? What do you think we need to do as a community? Because you know they're coming after us. That's the question I have. Go ahead, between the two of you.
Well, I'm gonna go first, Brother Lee, because I have a feeling you're going to partially agree with me. Um, yes, it's going to come about, and you know why? It's not going to be because of us. It's going to be because of the people that's marching now. It's marches all over the United States to a point that it's going to come together, and it's going to be a powerful group of them fighting against him. And that's when he's going to implement martial law, because now they're coming against him, his own people, and he's not going to like it because he likes the domination that he has at this moment. And once you go against his domination, he's going to retaliate. And that's going to be the one thing he's going to use is martial law to calm them down. And then he can implement it against us. We're not going to start it off for them. They're going to do it against themselves, and he's
So
going
you
to
mean that? So you wait a minute. He's gonna the people that are protesting now that you're saying, there's nationwide this, they saying the same folk that put him in there is hollering now. Yeah, I said it. They gonna set it off, but it's gonna be effective. They're gonna turn it on. They ain't gonna too much whoop they folks and shoot at them and everything. They're gonna turn it on it like it's our fault and come at
exactly.
us. Is that what you're saying? You really believe that?
I really believe that
I'm just
because,
saying. I'm just saying.
and I really believe that because I'm looking at all the people in these marches and these rallies that they're having, and it's thousands and thousands of people, and it's all over the United States. It's not us; it's them. And he's not going to handle that but so long, because he likes the domination that he's been able to do, like he did with the lady from Maine, where he threatened her if she didn't do what he said, he wanted her to do. He was going to stop the federal funding to her state, and then said he going to make sure she didn't get reelected. So he's already trying to dominate the states. So if he's dominating the states, you think that he's going to let these people continue to march and dominate his power? He's going to come after them with martial law to shut it down. Once he shut it down, then he'll know. Then we're going to be affected by it, because we're going to get the, as they say, the tail end of the whole mess. Because now he can use it against us more so than them.
Hmm.
Like
Okay,
Brother Lee
so
said,
so the answer to your first question almost is yeah, he's gonna use it. Come on, brother Lee, help us out, y'all, both of you. I'm
Well,
listening.
I would say this. I do agree with the sister. I don't disagree with a lot of things that she's doing, that she's saying. The thing is that okay? Here's the thing. He will try many different methods. I think one of the methods that he will try, and he will be somewhat successful, is that he will pay us to leave. See, we never think about that. He will pay us to leave, you know, that's one of the things that I
Wait a
think
minute,
he will do.
where we going? Wait, he gonna pay
Well,
us to
listen.
leave?
He
I'm
will
listening to. Oh, I'm sorry. That kind of
he
threw
will
me. Go
find a
ahead.
place that
A place.
that will take us, and he will pay us to leave. He will pay some black folks, and some of us would take that money to leave. And the thing is, here is that as far as the protesters, I'm gonna tell you this, sister. Uh, you know, when Brother Malcolm was unalive, there was spies in his camp that was from the government. So let me tell you, you thinking that those organizations that are protesting are, you know, uh, started up on their own. The government could have started, the FBI, CIA could start those organizations like they're one of us or one of them and create all that nonsense. So then they can get that reason to have that martial law. See, we're not thinking like they thinking. See, they'll create something that we think is ours. That is decent. It's folks that's protesting. You say, like you said, his own people is protesting. No, 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 no. That could be government planted spies in there that's starting up these organizations, acting like they're disgruntled, so he can very well do what he wants to do as far as that martial law. See, we don't think like they do. See, that's what they're thinking about doing. That's what they're doing. Now, here's the thing: when you have that martial law, you got to understand. You got to look a little deeper here. They have to suspend the Congress and the Senate and the Supreme Court. He has to suspend all of that. See, he has to send your senators home. He has to send your congressmen home, because they're not needed anymore. What you need them for? If you got martial law, what you need a Congress for? If you got martial law, what you need a Senate for? That's the thing. And then the judges are operate under a different kind of wavelength. What you saying? What do you mean, Brother Lee? Well, I mean that now those laws that are implemented to create order. Now those laws will be based on martial law. If you out there walking the streets and you past 6 o'clock, you don't go see it. You go see a judge. You go directly to jail. See, because you broke a federal martial law. So you don't get a lawyer. You don't get representation. You go straight to jail, just like on Monopoly. You don't pass go. You go straight to jail. See, that's the thing. We got to think like them. See, we thinking like we are Caucasians, like we are U.S. citizens, like we have
No,
rights. We don't
I
have
wanted to
those
know
rights.
what was entailed. I didn't mean to break you up right here. I want you to finish your answer, but my thing is this man. My question. I'm gonna throw it at you. I think I know what your answer is. I can't think for you, bro. Is he gonna do this? Do you believe that this person, the orange man, will use that mechanism anytime during this term? Do you think? And the second part of that is, what do we as a community, knowing he coming after us, knowing that he got the like you said, he got to quiet the white folks down, and probably I don't know what he gonna do to satisfy him, the ones that's protesting or whatever the case may be. But I think that he's going to come after. I think I'm not just saying doom and gloom or whatever. They got a whole lot of problems coming after us. But do you think ultimately he's going to come after directing that anger towards us, Brother Lee?
Well, definitely. I mean, come on now. Like I just said, he's already creating, he's putting his spies in place. He's putting his agitators in place. They're agitating this situation. They're getting those people excited about, protesting. See, this is something I would believe that this is something he's had a hand in. See, you thinking, well, they're protesting against him. No, it's something he started. It's just a big ploy to get what he wants. He's going around the bout. See, we thinking, oh, he's trying to satisfy the white folks. No, them white folks don't give a heck, man. You know what? He's starting this nonsense so he can create the end game. It's not what he's doing right now, it's what he's trying to do in the future. So he got to start something. He got to plant a seed to get what he wants in the end. And see, we thinking white folks are disgruntled, they don't like him.
Where
Man,
have
the
I
white
heard that
folks,
plant a seed from? Oh,
man,
go ahead, Lee. Go ahead. Yeah, I know where
these
you.
white
I was being sarcastic. I was.
these white folks is I'm gonna tell you something. He's got them manipulated just where he wants them. Yes, he got when you got spies in your camp, you got
Mm.
them close to you. You know, and they're manipulating. They're telling him to do X, Y, and Z. See, that's how the government works. That's how they work in every country. That's how the U.S. government works when they trying to take over every country. In Venezuela, they did the same thing there. When they go to Africa, that continent, that's how they manipulate the leaders over there. I mean, when the U.S. goes somewhere, listen, you got to look at it like this. White folks is like a virus. Everywhere they go, every country they go to, they turn it into a sickness. They turn it over. They take it and they clean it out and then they turn it down and then they make it look like it does. If you don't go along with the U.S., you end up looking like Haiti. And Haiti didn't go along with the U.S. and it's been the poorest country in this hemisphere. You know, and you go on the other side of Haiti, what do you have over there is the Dominican Republic. It's like night and day. Why is that? It's because the U.S. has cut off all funds, all help, all everything. Just turn their country, and then they constantly corrupting the leaders over there. You know, I talked to some Haitians about that, and they tell me about that. That leader, man, they had a leader over there for some years ago that was absolutely terrible. So U.S. had a hand in that. See, that's what I'm saying. You gotta don't give our U.S. government the benefit of the doubt or the thinking that they something that they won't do. They'll do anything they got to hold on to power. And you know what? And I'm gonna tell you this, and I'm gonna let you go. Here's the thing: you can look this up. Neanderthals, and you take the black folks. Now Neanderthals is Caucasians. Their DNA is completely different from ours. See,
Mm-hmm.
eventually their DNA will disappear. And they know this. You can look this up. They are Neanderthals. We didn't
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold it. Whew, that was a heavy one there. Now, wait a minute. I know what you said. I know you can say it again. All right, come on with it. I just had to say, who? Oh, go ahead, Lee. Go
they
ahead.
are
Go ahead.
Neanderthals. They used to live in caves. They are not us. Not even by a strand of DNA are they us. They're as different from us as a zebra from a horse. But see, they know it. And you can look this information. I want people to look this information up. It's right there before they make it disappear. Because they know they came from caves. We didn't come from a cave. See, that's the thing. You know, when they found Lucy's bones was not in a cave. That's the thing, my brother. That first woman.
See, wait a minute.
The first woman
I
that
know
they found in
that.
Africa,
You're right.
You're right.
You're
They
right.
didn't find her in a cave.
They called the bones Lucy. Yeah.
Then them Neanderthals, you know where they found them? In caves.
Okay.
So I'm gonna
See, you got deep right there and there. Well, I'm gonna say this real quick. We're gonna get ready to see this. We're gonna have to work on our. I'm gonna have to work on the expansion and trying to get some things together. I wanted to bring these issues up. I wanted us to really just think about where we are, and the things that are going to be occurring, folks, and not just occurring of talking doom and gloom, but just letting you see the events and the things that are going on that are happening to be aware of what's happening around about us. No, I'm not saying go get you a tent and live in the woods. No, I'm not saying you got to go get you some survival gear and all that other stuff. I'm not even going there. No, I'm not talking about things like that. But as we conversate about our government and see what's going on in our community and how we're living, it seems like we as a community, as black people, are always at the bottom and always getting the last of everything. And that just, to me, it's just something's wrong somewhere. I know that it is. I mean, but how long are we going to be wrong, or there's something wrong that we just, I don't know. I'm not trying to be comfortable about it, but we'll get to the bottom of it. Listen, we got guests coming this week. We got some new people that are going to be coming by and talking about their businesses on the Magman Morning Show. We're going to be welcoming in. You're going to be very surprised at who we're going to be bringing forth. Just to have a conversation about business and about things that are going on. We can survive during this. We got to keep our eyes open, but we're going to be finding all is not well. I don't have the answers to the questions of the day. I can ask the questions. Maybe I'll get an answer. Hopefully, we would. Listen, we'll be back here tomorrow at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, right here on Mac Media 3 Productions, the Macman Morning Show, right here. WKRA, thank you for allowing us to use your signals for licensing. And we just thank everybody for being here, for Brother Lee, our co-host, for our guests, Foxy 2, Roxy 3 of Foxy's Angel Zone, her wonderful platform. We want to thank her for being a part of everybody that's here at the Magman Morning Show. Thank you for being on here. We'll see you on tomorrow. God willing, that we'll be back here with another program, another interesting opportunity to come together for dialogue. And once again, thank our panel. Thank all of you for being here. And we'll see you on tomorrow morning, same time, same place.
Is the last thing on the